Okay, I'm here today to speak about the Arabesque project, which is a geographical flow visualization application. It's a web application. I will try to keep that schedule. Speaking of a global project which is called JFlowViz, speak about the application we developed and try to make a demonstration and speak about the future we see so far. So the Arabesque application is part of the JFlowViz project, which aims to two things: gather information on web mapping application dedicated to spatial-temporal mobilities and flow visualization, to get insights of what is existing, what are the features, the pros and cons of each applications. And from that, develop a web application for flow geovisualizations of flows, networks, and movements. There's a website you can go. It's a blog, research blog, so you can check. But it's in French for now, but we try to push it to English sooner. There is a talk I gave at the FOSDEM conference last year in Bucharest. So if you want more information about the JFlowViz project in itself, you can go check it on the web. So let's speak about Arabesque in details. So it's, like I said, Arabesque is an application, but it's dedicated to a certain kind of data. It's for flow and networks data only. It was made by a group of researchers in geography, computer vision, mostly from the Université Gustave Eiffel and the CNRS Research Center, which is the French National Research Center, and several labs from the National Research Center. So it's a timid application. It's available at this URL, which is arabesque.ifstar. Ifstar was the research is the research component of the Gustave Eiffel, but it disappeared when the Gustave Eiffel was created in the 3rd of January this year. So it's pretty new, and everything is not working with the new name. So this URL is still working. The source code is available on GitHub with a BSD2 closed license. We use, of course, open source libraries, mostly web libraries like OpenLayers or D3GS, Turf for data handling. And we provide some data sets to work with and to play with the application. So it comes mostly from Natural Earth or OpenStreetMap or custom data sets we found online. So we divide the application in 5 major steps, like importing data. One of the most important thing for us is to be able to import all data in it. So we provide these capabilities. It's links and or nodes. Like I said, it's networks and flow visualization, flow data, so you need at least links and maybe nodes. We provide some statistical treatments. We're aiming to add more in the future. You can explore and filter your data directly in the application. You also you are able also to symbolize your data, to make a pretty map, and save and export. So the interface is quite simple. There is a middle panel, which is the map, which it shows you. The left panel is more for projection handling, adding layers, and administration stuff. And the left is the right panel is much more about data manipulation and data handling. I will detail those, but you can also hide the side panels to get only the map or play with it. By default, Arabesque, when you load data, makes a default symbology and takes only the 10th more meaningful information. So for example, we only keep on this data set 10% of the information of the links, but it gives us 83% of the volume. Okay, so let's keep some time for the demo. So this is not working pretty well. Yeah, but I will need to, if I want to see what I'm doing. Okay. Yes, so I can see as well. Okay, we will be playing today with the Ricardo dataset, which is an historical dataset on trades between countries. It was provided by the Media Lab research lab. It's a political research lab in Sciences Po Paris. If you have been here yesterday, there was Paul Girard, which is responsible for this dataset. You can have information. Of course, it's in open source licenses. So it's in French for now because we make the presentation in France. So the datasets are available on GitHub as well. So the code source is available of the Arabesque application is available on GitHub in the GFlowviz organization, and the Sageo Ricardo dataset is provided also as well. So I already downloaded on my computer to save some time. It's a small dataset, so this is painful. So the application, the first panel shows you how can you directly how to load data. But if you want to use a demo before that, you can scroll down and get access to the two demos we made available, like bike sharing in London. So you can see it's a local dataset, pretty much local. And Swiss commuting also. It's a more bigger scale. And the Ricardo dataset we will be using today is a worldwide dataset. So the applications scales automatically on your data. You only provide data on WGS84. It's on the projection, the reference systems, yes. And everything works in that reference system. In the application, you can change the projection to a local one if you want. I will show you something. There is a gallery you made for screenshot to see some realization and some information about the projection, the funding, the team, the contributors, and some links, some useful links. So if you click on Explore bike sharing, it's not working. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So if you click on a demo, it should load. I had an issue with the layering, but it's okay. Let's go back, to the Arabesque and see how we can load data. So as we can, I said before, we need two kinds of data, nodes and links. Let's load the links. We called it edges in this data set. So I click on browse, get a look to the data, and we need to provide some information on it, like the origin ID and the destination ID, because each point needs an ID. Each cities or starting point needs an ID. The volume is the quantity you want to represent. It might be people, it might be goods, everything you want, anything you want. I want to import a location, and of course I have an issue, so let me start again. Okay, destination, volume. So we also provide aggregation functions like sum, mean, median, max. So you can choose which aggregation you want. Let's keep the sum. Okay, it's fixed. So now I need to load some nodes. So I will be loading the nodes data. And the ID are the same for our locations, the origin ID and destination IDs. Okay, so the application will be able to link things to each other. So it's in lat long, of course. Like I said, it's in WGS 84, and the application already makes a cleaning. First time you load something, if the nodes are not linked to something else, or if you can find something, it will remove it. So first step of cleaning is already done by the application. Okay, and then you have something. It's not pretty, but it's already something. You have already a representation of your data, and then you can work with it. So like this, it's just nodes and links in colors. Not very. It's a little bit meaningless. You don't know where the things are. So let's add a new layer. We provide some base layers. So in add layers, you can add countries. Let's keep the filling a little bit pale, and the stroke a little bit stronger. So you can change the symbology quite easily. Okay. And then we have a context. Okay, so it's still a little bit too messy to work with, but you can have a context. So let's remove this panel to give the map a little bit more space. And we can work with the links. So let's say we want a square root formula to give the size and change a little bit the ratio. Now the information is a little bit more clear. So you can see the big exchange have been between Europe and USA, mostly the UK, and there is some other exchanges. So you can work like this, use different kind of rules to do that. You can hide things. If you don't want the node, you can hide them. Okay, you can change, of course, the divergent palette. For example, for nodes, you can change the size on the balance and apply a coloring. Say, okay, this country is giving more or giving less. You can use degree, or it's connected to numbers of other cities or other countries. Sorry, it's countries. So in degrees, out degrees. So there is already those kind of connections for network visualization available. Okay, let's see balance. And it's not working. Let's get back to something more. Okay. I have a bug. It's demo time, so I have an issue. It's okay, should be okay. Let's start again. A small destination, import location, and again this error. This is an error we already get knowledge about, but didn't fix yet. We need to dig a little bit to find the cause. Up, it's volume. Okay. The ID is the ID, and the that long is the that long. Okay, same. Okay, let's get back to more. Okay, add layers. Paste. Stroke. Okay. I will just reduce the ratio by 100. Okay. Okay, let's just change the ratio so we have a less messy map. Like I said, we can also provide filters. You can filter your data on some information. Let's say we don't just want the small exchange, or we just want the biggest one. So, okay, the dataset is like that, so it's, the big ones are just UK to US. But you can add more filters. Maybe you want to filter on your links and just show, let me think if it's categorical, I don't remember. If you want only the exchange in the first half of the 20th century, you can do that. And let's say, okay, I want all the data. And you can have that. So you can filter your data right in the application. How many time left?
1.5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. So you can add a little more filter each time you have the percentage of the information represents. It's available on the arabesque.ifstar.fr URL. And let's go back to the presentation, which should be, yeah. Let's talk about the future. So for the future, in coming year, we plan to rewrite the code base. So this is the first release. There is some bugs still, and we want to add new features. But before that, we want to rewrite. We make a viable product, something working. But before adding new things, more stuff, we want to make it more stronger and make the maintenance more easy. So we need to rewrite a little bit the code base. And after that, we will provide new features like new indicators, new filters, try to work with bipartite dataset, which is not possible for now. And for now, you can export. I didn't show you that feature, but you can only export to an image, to a PNG file. So we want to provide vector format export, so you can easily rework in Inkscape afterward. And that's it for me. If you want to try to connect to me, this one is working for now. This one is not working yet. So I provide the two of us. And feel free to come see us on the GitHub and fill issue if you find problems and want some direction. We are working on the documentation as well, so yeah. And this, please come.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm up to any question.
If you have any questions, you can tackle this big guy later on if you're fierce enough.
Yeah, thank you. I will leave it.